Welcome to Timeless Chronicles, the shortest wars in history. While most of the well-known wars in history dragged on for years, even decades, many wars in the last century were extremely short. Border disputes, tensions over ethnic populations, trade issues, hangovers from the two world wars, or long-simmering pent-up hostilities have all exploded into shooting wars, many lasting just a few weeks or even a few days. In one case, the war was over in less than an hour. Anglo-Zanzibar War, 46 minutes. Taking place between the United Kingdom and Zanzibar on August 27, 1896, the Anglo-Zanzibar War clocked in at anywhere between 38 and 46 minutes. The war broke out after Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini, who had willingly cooperated with the British colonial administration in the tiny island of Zanzibar, died on August 25th, and his nationalist nephew, Khalid bin Bargash, seized power. Kuwait-Iraq War, 2 days. The inciting incident behind the Gulf War, Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, lasted only 2 days in August 1990. Iraqi troops, battle-hardened and well-equipped from years of war against Iran, crossed the border in the middle of the night, destroyed most of Kuwait's small army and air force, sacked Kuwait City, and drove the emir into hiding. The operation lasted about 2 days. Marco Polo Bridge Incident. 2 days. Often used as the starting point for the Second Sino-Japanese War, the Marco Polo Bridge Incident was a skirmish centered around the titular bridge near Peking. Tensions between Japanese and Chinese troops in the area were already high, as Japan had invaded and annexed Manchuria 6 years earlier. For a reason that's never been clear, both sides started shooting at each other in the middle of the night on July 7, 1937. Soon, a full-scale shooting war began. The Chinese managed to hold the bridge long enough to negotiate a ceasefire, and the conflict ended temporarily. The Football War, 100 hours, called the Football War or 100-Hour War. This was a brief conflict fought by El Salvador and Honduras in July 1969. The cause was economic issues, especially immigration from El Salvador to Honduras. The tension ratcheted up when Honduras expelled Salvadoran laborers by force. Operation Desert Sabre, 4 days. While the air campaign against Iraqi forces occupying Kuwait, Operation Desert Storm, lasted several months, the actual ground war, known as Operation Desert Sabre, was over in 100 hours. Coalition forces took advantage of superior numbers, equipment, air power, and the unwillingness of Iraqi troops to fight, and launched a devastating land and air assault. Russo-Georgian War, 5 days. A short conflict between Russia and Georgia. The Russo-Georgian War was the continuation of over a decade of tension over the breakaway territory of South Ossetia, which was part of Georgia but allied with Russia. Over 5 days in August 2008, Russian and Georgian forces fought with tanks, aircraft, local militia, police, and naval forces. Italian invasion of Albania, 5 days to get in on the pre-World War II land grab being carried out by Nazi Germany. Italian Duke Benito Mussolini ordered the invasion of tiny neighboring Albania. From April 7th through April 12th, 1939, Italian troops overran and occupied Albania. The Kingdom of Albania was quickly overrun, with King Zog being forced into exile. Albania was incorporated into the Italian Empire until 1944, when partisans liberated the country. Six-Day War. The Six-Day War saw a coalition of Arab nations again fighting Israel, this time after Egyptian military buildup led to a preemptive strike by Israeli planes against Egyptian airfields in 1967. Combat went on for nearly a week, after which a ceasefire was declared. 10-Day War. An after-effect of the disintegration of the Soviet Union, the 10-Day War was a conflict between Yugoslavia and breakaway Slovenia in June and July 1991. Slovenia had declared its independence in June, and Yugoslavia responded by seizing border crossings and moving troops in. Serbo-Bulgarian War, 14 Days War between Serbia and Bulgaria, broke out on November 14, 1885, and ended 2 weeks later. Like most short wars, the inciting action was a border conflict and treaty disagreements, with Serbia launching a preemptive attack on Bulgaria. The Serbian army was expected to be victorious, but Bulgaria surprised Serbian troops at the Battle of Slivnica on November 16. Yom Kippur War, 21 days. One of the most controversial and violent conflicts after World War II, the Yom Kippur War began when Arab forces attacked Israeli-occupied territories on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar in 1973. The attack was so sudden and powerful that Israel suffered extremely high losses and might have even considered using nuclear weapons to halt the invasion. Georgian-Armenian War, 24 days. Another post-World War I Eastern European border war, the Georgian-Armenian War, hinged on provinces disputed between the countries. These were largely split between ethnic Armenians and Georgians, but had been occupied by the Ottoman Empire. When the Ottomans abandoned the region, both Georgians and Armenians claimed control and went to war. Sonderbund War, less than a month. A Swiss civil war in 1847, the Sonderbund War saw 7 predominantly Catholic Swiss cantons break away from the mother country and declare themselves an independent enclave. Ecuador-Peru War, 26 days. Though taking place in 1941, the Ecuador-Peru War had no connection to World War II, as both nations were neutral. The two countries had been at odds for a century over who controlled the territory around the basin of the Amazon River, and a series of border skirmishes finally broke into open war on July 5. Anglo-Iraqi War, 29 days. Despite the end of the British Mandate in Iraq in 1932, Great Britain still viewed Iraq as a key military asset. So when Arab nationalist Rashad Ali took power in a coup in 1941 and established ties with Nazi Germany, England had to act quickly. Greco-Turkish War, 30 days. Also called the 30 Days War, this was a short conflict between Greece and the Ottoman Empire, fueled by Greek concern over the situation in Crete, where the ethnic Greek population was still under Ottoman control. In late 1896, a rebellion broke out on Crete, and in early February a Greek army landed to unite the island with Greece. The Ottomans defeated the overmatched Greeks within weeks, but were forced to give the island back to Greece when the European powers proclaimed Crete an international protectorate.